Hi everybody! Okay, so today we're going to be doing a barely there makeup look with a really bold lip, but if you are not in the mood for a bold lip, you can certainly do a very neutral, very subtle lip. I just really wanted to do barely there eyes and really nice va-va-voom lips. Anyways, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is prime my face as usual with my Revlon Photo Ready face primer. Again, you can use any face primer you prefer. This is the one that I prefer right now. Just gonna use about that much. I'm gonna dot it all over my face. I did wash my hands before I started applying my makeup, so make sure that your hands are clean if you're gonna apply your makeup with your fingers. Otherwise, make sure your brush is clean. Now I make sure to blend my primer and my foundation all the way down onto my neck, just so that I don't get that weird cut-off line on my chin that a lot of people get when they don't blend their makeup all the way down. Okay, so now I'm going to use my tinted moisturizer. This is from Salma Hayek's Nuance line. It's in light, and I'm just going to use a little bit of that. Okay, and I'm going to today be using a brush. This is just a Ulta professional brush that I got on sale. e.l.f. also has a brush that looks like this. It's sometimes called a skunk brush, sometimes called a dual fiber brush. A lot of times you'll see them used as highlighter brushes, but I like it for foundation sometimes. So I'm just going to dab it in there, making sure to get all of the bristles nicely coated. Now the worst thing you want to do, the last thing you want to do is just start smearing this all over, because there's way too much product right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dot it on my face again, and see, it's got a lot of the product off. So now I can start blending without having to worry about getting like huge globs of makeup in one area. And again, you want to make sure to blend all the way down onto your neck. Now I'm going to take my damp sponge, and I highly recommend doing this whenever you use a brush to apply your foundation. I'm just going to take and dab it all over my face. The reason you want it damp is you don't want it to absorb all of the foundation off your face that we just spent time putting on. But you want it to kind of even it out and make it look less streaky, if that makes any sense. Okay, so now we're going to move on to concealer. This is the Super Stay Concealer by Maybelline. I probably had it right side up before, yeah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dot that all over where I need concealer. So like my dark circles, around my nose, on my chin. And you want to dot it because that's going to help it blend a lot better and not make it look so much like you've got a huge amount of concealer in one area. Okay, so if you guys have a facial piercing, you want to be careful not to pack a lot of product on around it, just because it tends to irritate the piercing more. At least that's what I found, is it tends to irritate my piercing more. if I pack a whole lot of stuff around it rather than if I just like do a little bit, you know, to help it blend, but kind of just, okay. So the first thing I'm going to be using is my Urban Decay primer potion. You don't have to use this. You can use concealer, which I find that's a bit heavy, but there are drugstore brand eye primers. There's the e.l.f. one, but I don't think it's as good as the e.l.f. one's a little bit too oily for my eyelids. I know there's a NYX one, but I have not tried it. I think they just recently came out with it. So I'm going to use just a little bit of product. I'm going to use just a little bit of product on my ring finger, and I'm just going to blend that all the way up into my eyebrow. And the reason I blend it all the way up into my eyebrow is because I prefer to use a powder, and I feel like this helps it stick better than if I just use the powder. Is a specialty item that Wet n Wild comes out. It's a promo item that they have like it seems like for the past 2 years they've had it around Christmas time. When I got it, it was called the I Heart Matte Palette. But I know this last Christmas it was called the Drink a Glass of Shine palette. So, or shimmer or something like that. Anyways, but any matte, we're just going to be using this side of the palette. So any matte colors that you have that are, you know, within this range will work. You don't have to use this palette. Any matte palettes, even the Vanity palette would be a good substitute for these. You just want to go a little bit lighter on it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is take my Ulta brush. It's not really a flat shader, but it's not really a pencil brush, and it's not really a fluffy blending brush. I don't know what you would call that. It's flatter than a blending brush. Anyways, okay, so we're going to take our Ulta brush and we're going to take the lightest color. I know it says for brow bone, but we are going to do a wash with that all over our eyelid. And that's just going to help give us a base to blend the rest of our eyeshadows together on. Okay. So now we're going to take that same brush and we're going to take the eyelid color. Now this eyelid color is a little bit too orange for me, but that's okay because what we're going to do with it'll be fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to find where our bone is in our eye socket, right there, where you're right in between your eyeball and your bone. I have a little bit more space. Some people may have less, some people may have more. And we're just going to take that and push that right in there and blend. And blend and blendy blendy blend. This look requires a lot of blending. So I don't know if you guys can see that compared to this eye, but this eye just has a little bit more definition than the eye that we haven't done yet. See? Alright, so now we're going to do the same thing to the other eye. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a pencil brush. This is from e.l.f. It says it's a blending brush, but it's really looks like a pencil brush. And we're going to take the crease color, the darker brown. Okay, it's a really dark, warm brown. And what we're going to do is just to add a little tiny bit more definition, we're just going to place that in the very outer corner and a little bit up into the crease, and then down along the bottom lash line. We're going to take our brush that we've been using and just blend that out so that it's just a little bit darker on the outer corner, but not so much that it's like you have eyeshadow on. So we're going to do the same thing to the other eye. Ta-da! Alright, so now we're going to take a fresh brush. Just going to use my flat shader from Sonia Kashuk, and we're going to take the white. Now I know white is not a very natural color, but we're just going to use a very little bit of it to just do our brow bone highlight and our inner corner highlight. Okay, so you see how that just kind of like opens up your eye and makes it look a little bit more finished than this eye over here. You're going to want to tap off a whole bunch of that white because we just want a little, just a kiss of it right under our brow bone and in our inner highlight. Okay, so our e.l.f. Small precision brush. I don't know if you guys can see that brush. It's really tiny. And we're going to do our eyebrows. I'm going to use the darkest brown on here, not the black, the brown. Right? And I'm just going to use a little bit of it. I'm just going to start by drawing a very sketchy line right under my eyebrows. I'm just going to slowly fill them in. Right? Just like that. I prefer thicker eyebrows. You don't have to do yours as thick as mine. I prefer the Audrey Hepburn look. Okay. So now we're just going to take a spoolie and we're going to run it through our eyebrows just to help them blend a little bit more. Alright? Alright. So now it's time for our inner rim highlight, which I'm going to be using this beautiful NYX eyeshadow or eyeliner in Velvet. It's really pretty champagne color. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my index finger and I'm not going to pull down on my eyelid. What I'm actually going to do is look for the area between my orbital bone and my eyeball and very gently, you don't want to pop your eyeball out of your head. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to rest my finger in there and that's going to pop open my inner rim. So do the same thing over here. Okay, so now we're going to line our eyes. You can pick a brown eyeliner for this. I prefer the black. This is the Physicians Formula Eye Booster eyeliner in ultra black, and I love this eyeliner. It's got like a brush tip on it. It's awesome. Love it. Love it, love it. Okay, so we're just going to do a really thin line of eyeliner on our upper lid. Okay, so you can choose to wing it out. I'm just going to do a very little wing. Okay, so one trick that I have learned is if you want to look like you're wearing false lashes but not actually have any on, you can do a small little double wing, and that's going to make the outer corners of your eyes just look a little bit more fluttery. I'm not going to do that today. I'll do that in a later video so that you guys can see it, but it's something to look forward to. So now it's just time to curl our lashes and apply your favorite mascara. Alright, so for our lips today, like I said, I'm going to be doing a really bold lip. You don't have to. I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Color Icon Lip Liner in Willow. I hope this is a lip liner. Yeah, it's a lip liner. Okay, so it's just a kind of nice brown kind of color. I don't really have a lip liner that matches this lipstick, so this is what I'm working with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline and fill in my lips. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my favorite lipstick that is unfortunately discontinued. Sad day. I hate it. Hate it when they discontinue your favorite stuff. This is the Rimmel London lipstick in Dare. I'm not sure if there's like a fancy subtitle for it, but it is one of my favorite lipstick colors and they have discontinued. So what we're going to do is we're going to take Dare, and you can apply this with a lip brush. I'm just going to apply it straight on because it's mine and nobody else is going to use it. So what you're going to do is, again, like with the Wet n Wild lipsticks, you don't want to just like swipe your lipstick on because, you know, we're not coloring in a coloring book. What you're going to do is you're going to pounce it on. This is going to help give you a more even coverage with your lipstick. It's going to help it get last longer because there's not going to be so much of it on your lips. I know that sounds kind of anti-intuitive, but the more product you have on your lips, the less it's going to actually stick to your lips, and the more it's going to try to move around on your face, and we want to avoid all of that as much as possible. So what we're going to do is just pounce it on. Okay. Now, I like that. I think that looks good. I know, not super bold like what I promised, but it's bolder than what a lot of people go for. So now I'm going to do blush, which is just this really pretty cream blush from e.l.f. and it is, what color is this? Tease. It's the color of blush it is. I'm just going to take a Sonia Kashuk brush, put it down in there, get a little bit of the product. You just need a very little bit, and work it into my cheeks. Okay, so now I'm going to take a finishing powder, any finishing powder of your choice. I waited to do this step at the very, very end because you don't want to apply a cream, anything, on top of powder. It's going to make it look cakey and weird and just not nice at all. So you want to make sure that your makeup is totally done, like as far as the cream stuff, before you go applying your finishing powder. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte finishing powder. I know I bought another thing. In 001 transparent. And I like this finishing powder. To me, it works really well. If you have a different finishing powder that you prefer, use that one. I'm just going to start where I concealed. And then move out from there. And just blend it all together. Alright, so that is done. One final note before we all go. Make sure that you don't press your bottom lip to your chin. I've done this on many occasions, and there is nothing more annoying than having a lipstick line on your chin and not knowing about it. Okay, so just watch out for that. Maybe have a good friend or a compact or something handy just in case that happens. And I hope you guys have a good day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Remember, beauty is cheap. It's what's inside that counts. Bye. I don't know why I just recorded that. Anyways.
I thought it sounded like you pushed the record button.
It did, I did. But you're gonna have to edit out that whole first part. These first few minutes you're just gonna have to edit out. Thanks. And then now, oh crap. I left my eyeliner up here. Again, and blendy, blendy, blendy. Blendy, blendy, blendy. My physician's formula eyeliner. The one in the silver too. It's on to... Ow! I just kicked something under the table. Anyways, the toes are going to sleep. Yeah. Pretty much. My toes are asleep. It's fun stuff. Sorry, I'm spot cleaning my brushes as I go. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.